Here's Mr. Rogers talking about that hideous doll, but then he says something that's really interesting, and I'll explain it here.
You said you had a sister.
My sister was adopted when she was 6 months old.
Of course.
And I was 11 years old. And her name is Elaine. And we tease her because she thinks that I must have named Lady Elaine Fairchild for her. Is she here? Is Lady Elaine here? Here I am, Toots.
Ugh, what a hideous, grotesque thing. I mean, look at the nose on this thing. How could anybody think that that looks normal? Okay, that nose is a dick, I'm sure.
Well, did you name her for you? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, everybody's nose is shaped like that.
Lady Elaine is the mischief maker in the.
Really? Because she's a redhead and a bull dyke. You can tell by the haircut. His explanation is slightly different. Oh, you like the buttons black and white?
The neighborhood of make-believe, and she's the one who keeps everybody honest because she's so honest herself.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, the Phoenicians were really honest.
My sister's a wonderful person. I am so grateful to my family for having adopted her. Because Mother and Dad and our grandparents are all in heaven now. And she has, first of all,
what a delusional fuck this guy is.
She's a very fine watercolor artist.
Great. Have you ever seen any of my finger paintings? Yeah. Sounds sad.
And she's also a very fine mother. And our two nephews are exceedingly special young men. One teaches music composition, of all things, at Rollins College.
Now listen what he says about the second one.
And the other has just gotten his doctorate in something so esoteric I can hardly understand, but it has to do with fungus.
So, the guy's got his doctorate dealing with fungus, and it's esoteric. What he's talking about is yeast. Yeast is probably one of the most evil things on this planet. It's in alcohol. It's in bread. And what group abstains from eating that stuff? The bagel eaters. They eat unleavened bread. They don't eat yeast because yeast, and this is a fact, it's a catalyst for whatever demonic entities there are. Yeast is extremely bad for you. Extremely bad for you. And it's how do I explain it? It's why the Jews don't eat stuff with yeast in it. They make stuff for us to eat it. Because yeast is bad. It affects the mind. Look at alcohol. Loaded with yeast. What happens? People get together, they're drinking, they have something it's loaded with yeast. You got fights, you got killings. Marijuana, on the other hand, you don't get any of that, but that's evil, right? I don't smoke, but the logic behind it just goes to prove that it's all bullshit. The Jews, and that's what Jesus said, beware of beware of the yeast of the pharaohs, because yeast is an evil thing. And so if bread is knowledge and they were using yeast, then it would be lies. The unleavened, the Jews, they know what's going on here. They know. That's what the purpose of unleavened bread is. Matzah crackers, matzah balls, all of that stuff. But yet they load us down with it. And this fuck right here, he knows what the fuck it is. That's just him calling out to his buddies, giving a high five for the stupid fucking Gentiles. It's so esoteric that he can't hardly understand it. Yeast is extremely evil and bad for you. What a better way to get into somebody's head is than through what they eat. Go read about yeast. Yeast is terrible. And the bacteria in our body that's supposed to fight it is unfortunately on the wrong side of the stomach. And so that bacteria that will kill off that yeast, let me put it this way. When they say corn-fed beef, that's completely fucked up, because cows that eat corn, the corn will kill a cow. If cows eat corn, it will kill them. The way that they get around that is they load the corn up with antibiotics to keep the corn from killing the cow. When you eat the steak that was made from the cow that ingested the antibiotics to keep the corn from killing it, then your immune system gets fucked up. And the good bacteria that's supposed to kill the yeast allows the yeast to run rampant in your body. So there's nothing esoteric about it if you understand that that is a living organism, and it isn't a friendly one, and it does not like humans. Fuck Mr. Rogers.